Welcome to the Hot Plates and Grapes podcast. My name is Aaron Mays. I got my boy AJ Sankofa with me, and we got some lovely wine as well. He brought a lovely Asti, and I have the Nebbiolo Perbacco from Vietti, the Langhe 2017. It's going to be delicious. I can't wait to get into it.
Word up, word up. Over here we got something that's, pretty special to me. This was actually a birthday present from one of my longest friends and my business partner actually with the Eso Artisanal Pasta. Shout out to Isaiah Pinnock. This is a sparkling frizzante from Asti. And the cool thing about this wine is actually the name Nando is the name of the dog of the chef that I used to work for at a Michelin Star restaurant in Italy. So that's Ristorante La Rosa in Alba. So shout out Chef La Rosa out there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's
you know
up.
what I'm saying? We always represent in some way, shape, or form.
Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up. I appreciate you bringing that through.
Word.
I guess we'll get started with that. We got some couple people with us in the studio as well. So we're going to share the wealth.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you coming through with that. So if I may.
Of course.
Yeah.
Please.
Open that bad boy up, and while I get this thing open and poured around, how you doing, man?
What's I'm good, man. I'm
Talk
good.
To me.
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm juiced at the same time. You feel me? We got a lot going on. Ever since March, things have been crazy, but every day we're just trying to steamroll. You know what I'm saying? Get to it.
So I work with you at Legacy, and
right.
Everything just hit the fan. All of a sudden on March 17th, we didn't have a job.
Word.
And so how'd you adapt through all that?
Man, right off the bat, I was like, all right, boom. Because, Christina was working with us too. And Christina and I were dating. So I'm like, all right, well, you can't be out here in New York. So first thing I did was made sure she was straight. So we moved into Jersey, into my crib. So we was really just macking for the first 2-3 weeks, to a month. It was like, I bet this is just going to blow over in, a couple weeks. This is, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't taking it as serious as it really was. And I don't feel like anybody else, you know what I'm saying?
No,
so
not at all.
Really, we was just on the couch with it, watching Netflix, going for walks, you know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy, just macking,
right.
A little vacation type.
It seemed so regular at first. It seemed like it was just going to be, okay, people are sick for a little bit. That's fine. That's cool. And then you realize, wait, we actually still, it's April.
Yeah.
It's May.
Mid-April. Well, it was mid-April. I'm like, all right. Shit, you know what I mean?
Word, do you want to give that a taste, bro, to see if it's
Gucci?
Please. For the sake of,
well, I know by the smell.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It smells great from here.
Oh, yeah, we good to go. Nice
good
and
to
floral.
Go.
You gonna like that.
Oh, nice. Put me on.
You got a sweet tooth?
A little bit. We can start off with it.
That.
How'd you continue? How'd you go forward? You pretty much what? You pretty much you're chilling hard. What was that snapping point?
So it really wasn't even me. So Christina, my girlfriend, she always had this dream of being a baker, being a a pastry chef, having her own kind of bakery kind of deal, and she always wanted to do her traditional Ukrainian, Russian, Slavic cuisine within that. And I was like, you've been telling me about this for months, 6 months at this point. So I'm like, we got time, space, and opportunity. Why don't we just start something up real quick? So, I was really pushing her to start, doing a little delivery service, you know what I'm saying? We had the whip, we had, the resources to, put something together. I'm like, start baking, let's just start doing it. She was giving me some pushback for a while. She was a little nervous about the whole thing. She was kind of convinced still that, we were going to be able to pop back at work, you know what I'm saying?
I was 100% sold on that.
And so, so really, the reason why I'm here is because of her, honestly, because we really used all the lessons that we learned through starting her business and, the trial and error and, the this, that, and the third is what helped me along the way when I started mine. You feel me?
True that.
So.
Well, cheers to that, man.
Thank you very much. I love the color. Color.
Yeah, this smells amazing.
Once again, shout out to Isaiah Pinnock. He in the back. He chilling. You know what I'm saying? We poured up. Christina's over here. Bro. Big toast to Niche. We appreciate you.
It's definitely frizzante for sure.
Very light. Effervescent. Filigreed, you know what I'm saying?
I would crush that with some seafood. Straight up
nice little crudo ceviche type.
Yes. Yo, that's literally what I was going. I was like, yo, I need
that recipe Henry gave you.
Yeah, I need that. I need some high citrus right now.
Word, shout out Chef Henry.
Shout out Henry. Yeah, we plugging in already.
Word.
10 minutes in, plugging it all in. Yo, so you were born in Hell's Kitchen, actually.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Where did life take you after that?
I mean, really, I was born out here, but it was just a hospital kind of thing. My mother wanted me to be born in, a certain hospital because it was it was the best hospital in the country at the time. I don't even know the name, but that's the story.
Yeah.
And then from there, we spent some time in Long Island. My mother and her side of the family are from there. And then we came down to East Orange, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. That's kind of when we was linked up with my, when my mother and my father divorced, but when they were still together, my father's family was in East Orange, and so that's where we moved. And
right.
I was still like a baby. I was like 3, 4, and then from there we moved to Morristown, New Jersey, which is where I currently live. Actually, I just moved again, but we'll get to that. So, but yeah, Morristown, we moved there, and I went to like first grade up here, and then we took the big hike down to Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's kind of funny, like my mother's side of the family's from New York, and my father's side of the family is from North Carolina. But like now my mother's side of the family, my mother's down in North Carolina, my father's up here in Jersey, so it's a little flip. But I spent from like 6 years old till 12, 6 to 12, 6 to 12 and a half up in or down in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's what's up,
so I took it from there back up to Morristown. I went to 8th grade. That's actually where I met Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? We had an art class and English class together, and then boom, from there, high school, and then you know how it goes.
Right. Same, bro. I got, homies from day one as well, just still till this day. But it's cool that you were able to like bounce around so much, but yet still have, like a good homie, because most people bounce around and just like, I'm really
and I got him down south too. I got him down south too. Like, when I go down there, we link up. I got a couple, like my one boy, actually my oldest friend that I could name, he's actually out in Switzerland, and when I was in Italy, we was linking up. You feel me? Like, he was coming down. So
so were your parents hospitality at all?
Nah, man. My mother actually, she worked on Wall Street for a little bit, but she was real into the financial stuff. She worked for a big financial company that actually transferred her from Jersey down to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's how we got down there. My father actually is the supervisor of the psychiatric ward in the hospital. So he majored in psychology. He's worked in hospitals for 35 plus years.
So how did you get to the industry?
Well, honestly, that's actually all thanks to Isaiah. His 2 older brothers and 2 of his cousins, they were all working at this place called Brentwood's Mansion. It's a little catering hall, hole in the wall type joint. You do your football, like ceremonies and volleyball and all that. So that was my senior year of high school. We was working over there like $10 an hour. You feel me? Clearing tables, pouring water. It wasn't even like we was trying to work in hospitality. We was just trying to make that bread and have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? We treated it like a competition. Like, who could pour water the fastest, who could break down the fastest. Like, we got to get to this party. You know what I'm saying? So like, who's going? You feel me?
I bet you I can clear that whole 4 top myself.
Right now. Nah, we talking 16 tops, baby. This is before fine dining. You know what I'm saying?
Before there was actual
Jersey claw. You know what I'm saying? We coming over with the. You know what I'm saying?
The Jersey claw.
Word.
6 glasses in one hand.
Need that.
Forget
Give
about
me that.
it. Yeah, I might put them down with my hands in there too.
Straight like that.
That's wild, son. So like, coming up through that spot, like growing up, like were you into, like, what made you stick with it? Like, what made you keep like, okay, like I'm actually gonna rock with it? Did you divert a little bit, or would you like pretty much like, okay, I'm in there now, I'm watching people doing some crazy stuff, and I kind of want to do that crazy stuff too?
Oh, so that actually happened later on. So I'm working at Bretton Woods, we making a little bit of money, but it ain't nothing crazy. But I actually had another homie that was working at this new restaurant called Jackie Hella Bar and Kitchen. And this restaurant, the place that it's at, it's actually an enormous mansion. It's called the Vale Mansion, that had been vacant for like 60 plus years. Wow. And during those years, all the skateboarders from my town, including myself, used to skate there outside. They had like stairs, they had ledges. Like, if you go right now and sit on the patio and look at the ledge, you see all the grind marks from the skateboarders. Word. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's me. That was my childhood.
That's what's up.
And so they opened up that restaurant, and my boy was like, yo, making stupid bread over here. Like, ridiculous. Like, you got to come through. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, and I'm only a busboy. And so, he's telling me, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Word. Like, let me do that. So, you feel me? I put the suit and tie on, like, because this place is, you know what I'm saying? I'll show you.
It was hemmed up.
Word. I'll show you visuals later. You understand? All marbled out, all, marble chrome.
And
nice
this
woodwork.
Is Jersey.
This is Jersey, you know what I'm saying? But this is like that part of Jersey, you feel me? That New Yorkers don't like to talk about, you know what I'm saying? They get a little uncomfortable, but you feel me?
Give no love to
Word. So we over there, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? I applied for the job, and I'm getting interviewed by the service director, and he's asking me all sorts of questions. Mind you, I'd only worked in the industry for like 2 months, 3 months. In a catering hall, which was like, backyard boogie. So he's asking me stuff that I'm like, man, let me clear these plates, man. What you talking about?
Get something,
But I had the suit and tie on at the same time, and my resume reflected that I was eager to learn. Like, I had interned at a law firm before that, and I had interned at Jersey City Medical Center, where my father was working at the time. So it's like, it was clear that, I didn't have a straight path, but I was, scooping up whatever I could along the way.
Right.
You feel me?
You was piecing it all together without even really kind of knowing it.
Right. Just taking the opportunities as they come. And that's, that's a big thing. I tell people all the time, like, when opportunities knock, don't, you feel me, answer that.
Yeah, even if it's not something you really are down for at the moment, it's there for you.
Never know.
Right, because like, why is it there for you? You got to question it a little bit. Like, that's being presented to me, so I might as well look into it, because like, hey, what else is in front of me? Probably not what I want. So like, what I want is not always what I need. You know what I'm saying? So now you got what you need, and here you are. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
That's how life is. So like, would you say that spot was a turning point
in
your career?
But even then, it was like, I wanted a job that was gonna pay me more bread to do what I was already doing. It didn't, like, it was like months after that. Like, when I started working there, it was like working in the zoo. Like, it was crazy to me. So there was so much to learn. We had so many like incredible individuals. The general manager, Ron Morgan, service director, Stephen Bloom, beer director, Sam Doyle, wine director, Charles Prusick, all big New York City guys in the front of house. And I wasn't even touching the back of house yet. Right. So in the beginning, I was real like heavy hitter front of house. Like, I was trying to get there.
That's
like,
wild.
I actually, I went from back waiter or busboy to food runner to captain's assistant to server, like all within like 9 months. But it wasn't until I hit the food runner stage that I was like, yo, like, what's good with it? Like, I'm in the kitchen and I'm watching this shit go down. And I'm like, wow, like, this is incredible. Like, this is crazy. This rush, this passion, this drive, like, that these people have. Like, let me get that.
That's wild, because it was a flip for me.
You was telling me. Yeah, you was telling me.
I don't know if I can do that. But, like, I know how to do it. I came up through the back. But, like, I always wanted to get to the front for some reason, because I guess it's maybe personality, talking to people.
And what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, like, I think sometimes, like, damn, what if I would have stayed in the front? Like, because I love it. I love talking to people. Like, I'm not like the back of house chef where it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah. Like, I'm not that person at all. I'm very, I'm very out in the open. Like, I have no problem, putting myself out there. So it's like, it could go either way with me, which is why, like, what I'm doing now is so cool, because, like, I get to do what I love to do and do what I love to do. Right. On, whatever platform you want me on, I could be there.
That's good, though.
Word.
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what's funny about this whole change with COVID. A lot of these chefs didn't want anything to do with people. Like, I want to cook, and I want to make money, and that's it. And now they're like, okay, you can cook, but, like, now how you going to make money because your restaurant's done?
It came naturally for me. Like I said, like, I never, when I started in the back house, actually, like, everybody was like, trying to welcome me into this whole like new grunge, like, don't be friendly with the front of house, don't, like, and it was like, nah,
let's
man,
do cocaine after work.
Yeah, like, nah, I'm good on that. You feel me? Before work, man, like, people are crazy, man. Like, especially, like, I saw a lot of, when I got to the city, especially, like, I'm like, wow, man, like, this is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't fuck with water? Like, what's good with it? You feel me? Yeah, like, takes it, y'all don't drink orange juice in the morning? Like, that don't juice you up? Yeah. Like, but, I mean, shit, everybody has their, their vices. But, like, it's really, like, I just be trying to be human. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Now,
at the end of the day, you feel me?
Yeah. So you taking your talents overseas, too.
Oh, yeah, man.
Out into Italy.
That was, so that's all thanks to Chef Kevin Sipple, man. And, that's that guy has had the most influence on my life and on my career. Like, I owe it all to him at the end of the day.
That's what's up.
That's a funny story. So, me and Isaiah, going back to that, we busted all our moves together. We graduated high school early together. We were as a part of the early college challenger program. So we're working full time at this crazy restaurant, Jackie Hill Barn Kitchen, with this New York City chef that attained 5 Michelin stars back, at Alto Limpiero as CDC and executive chef under Chris Cannon, restaurateur. Like, time goes on, we graduate, we go through that summer. The menu gets crazy, you feel me? Because the chef, he liked to take it from like the north in the winter to the the central regions in the fall, and then spring he start bringing it almost
he just works with all Italy.
And then what I'm saying, middle of the summer he's Sicilied out, so you feel me?
Sicilied out, yeah.
So it was cool as hell. And then by the time what I'm saying, college started, like, I was going to Fairleigh Dickinson University, my boy Isaiah was going to Seton Hall University. We lived together in his crib. But what I'm saying, I just wasn't that motivated in school because I was living off campus. I realized about myself, like, if I'm gonna do something, I got to be completely immersed in it.
Have to.
And I wasn't, you feel me? Because I was working full time, I was going to school full time, and I was living at the crib with my homies, you feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, word.
You know what that means.
Word, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It was like, after like 2 months of school, I was like, I'm good off that, you feel me? How can I get over to Italy? How can I learn more about Italian food? Like, I gotta, and I'm not talking like, fettuccine Alfredo, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how can I get there? You feel me? To the next level.
300 pasta shapes.
Word.
Trying to learn all of them.
And so I'm like, I'm late night, in my homie's crib, like in my room, just Googling stuff, like, schools in Italy, like, culinary institutes, blah, blah, blah. I find this one school, Italian Culinary Institute for Foreigners, aka ECHIF. I'm like, all right, word, let me ask Chef Kevin about this. Boom, I pull up to work the next day, like middle of lunch service, like I'm not even paying attention to nothing. I'm eager, I'm excited. I'm like, what's good with it? Like, I'm trying to see what's up.
Yeah.
I just blurted out like, hey chef, what do you think of this? And I pull up a little picture of the school, a little link or whatever. And he looks at the link real fast and he looks at me. And then he looks down, he goes in his wallet and he pulls out a picture of his graduation photo in 98, a year after I was born, from the same school. Master program. So it just crazy. Like from that moment on, like I'll never forget that moment, just like silence. Like, yeah. And he just said to me, like, whatever we got to do to get you out there, that's what we'll do.
That's clutch.
And so it just went from there. Like, all right, boom. That must have been November, December. And I'm like, all right, word. I moved back to my crib, and every single penny, I was just scraping them. Like, give me that to pay for the tuition. Like,
that's good, though.
I got all the letters of recommendation. Like, thank God that I had worked so hard and I had these connections. That's where it began for me. Like, that's how I got here.
That's what's up, yo. That's everybody has it, an origin story, and that's dope because like it seems like it's a roller coaster of things.
Oh yeah,
that went on, but you still found your zone, and that's all that really matters. So, what was the moment for you that you knew like you were solidified in this industry? Like you were like, you're good. Like I know people depend on me, and then from that moment, like did you have like a good night out experience in New York? Or like, did you dine somewhere and you got that VIP treatment just off the sole merit of what you can do in the kitchen? I
mean, so I'll say when I guess a combination of a moment where I really felt solidified in the industry and like a dining out moment, that would have been 2016 December. So actually when I was out in Italy, so I took the master's course at ECHIF, and during one of my internships, I did 3. I was working at one Michelin Star Ristorante La Rosa in Alba, and during my last week, my father came to visit me. Like my father went halfway across the world to come see me out there and just see what I was doing, see what I accomplished. And there was they surprised me with one day I showed up to work, then my father showed up in the dining room, and then all of a sudden they were like, all right, boom, you're off tonight, go eat with your dad.
Oh, that's what's
and
up.
I'm like, what? Nah, man, let me,
Yeah,
but they
about this grind,
word, but they like, nah, this is your time. So I went out there with my father, and like everything that me and my father went through, with the divorce and just, me being, like I said, like a screw up kid, like to have that moment, like, he was amazed and I was amazed. Like he was amazed that I was here and I was amazed that he came to see me here. And that was like one of the second or third times in life, like you reach that point where your father starts treating you like a man or talking to you like a man, not like, you feel me?
Right.
And so, we just really talked about life and like everything that, we had been through, everything that we want, all the goals that I wanted to achieve, and advice from him. And he had given me a watch at that point. It was like my first real watch.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
Everybody has that first real watch where it's like, you know what I'm saying? And so I'll never forget that moment. It's like, yo, these people respect me enough to let me do this. Like, I'm here, 18 years old, I think I was at that point, one Michelin Star. Like,
that's mad respect.
Word, and then my father's right here with it. So that was a huge moment for me. That really felt like,
Damn, bro,
a small victory, but it's like,
no, it's a major victory. What you mean? To be able to be in a Michelin Star kitchen at 18 years old and be able to say, yo, like they're telling you can take a night off. Not like, hey, I need to take a night off, my pops is in town. And they're like, oh, okay, your pops in town, take a day off. They were like, no, we recognize this importance. Right. Go for it. And that might speak on the culture of Italy itself, but still, human nature, they could have not done it, and you could have been on the line. That could have never happened.
Like, that was a huge thing, man. Like, I'll never forget like sitting at the table, like swirling the wine. My father likes Chardonnay. He doesn't know wine, but like when he sits down and he wants some wine, he orders Chardonnay every time. And I'm like, nah, Dad, like I got you. I'm about to, what I'm saying? I'm about to show you, what I'm saying? We gonna do it right this time. Word, and we had a good time, and it was like,
Is that restaurant still open?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
through COVID?
They're open in a sense that they're doing like kind of something similar to what I'm doing, the takeout thing. But, they're steamrolling through it, man.
That's
those people, they definitely grind out there.
Like you said, you went in to the industry kind of just like lackadaisical about it just for money, and you got a little more serious.
Right.
And then you really into it. So, like, speaking more to like now, like going into your vision, let's say when you started at Legacy.
Okay.
Like, how is your vision now then compared to now having your own?
So it's crazy, man, because I'm a cook. Like at heart, I'm a cook, man. Like you know what I'm saying? I love working the line. Like I hate it for everything that there is to hate about it, but you know what I'm saying? If somebody asked me to work the line right now, like, you know what I'm saying, I'd be a little itchy, like, you know what I'm saying? I like that rush, you feel me? I love service. So it's like, when I came to Legacy, I was coming off of Michelin Star kitchen, 30 seats. Every single plate was scrutinized, 7 to 14 course menus, plus amuse-bouche, plus piccolo pasticceria, plus mid-courses. So I'm coming from, like, myself, the sous chef, and the executive chef. So, you know what I'm saying? And then there's me, like, I'm the cook, the cuoco, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just getting it from all around, you feel me? And then to go from that for, like, 7 months back into an environment like Legacy, which was an environment like Jockey Hollow, like real fast paced, a lot of covers, push. Like it took me a smooth like 2 months to adapt back into it, because like I tell people all the time, when I worked in Italy, like we don't use our knives. Like
really,
there's no dishes out there. It's not, you're not cutting, a bunch of shallots and a bunch of onions and a bunch of carrots and a bunch of fennel and a bunch of, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? One dish consists of 3 ingredients. You know what I mean?
Interesting,
like,
yeah.
The pastas is 2-3 ingredient plus the olive oil. Like, it's a different beast. So going from that, and then I remember my first day at Legacy on Pasta Station, like with caviar, a 9 pasta menu. Like I went from like a 4 or 5 pasta menu to a 9 pasta menu plus caviars or the tonarelli that made it 10, 2 tanks. Like I was boiling pots of water. Every single pasta that I cooked in Italy got a separate pot of water, fresh salt every time. You know what I'm saying? I was going from like,
if you told somebody in New York City, we made your husband's pasta, now we gotta get new water to make your pasta,
right?
They would be like,
who?
Yeah,
like,
are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, like I used to tell people, like, bro, we during service when we had 15 or less covers, we would have the pasta machine set up on my station, because at first, the second half of when I worked there, I was working the pasta station, the amuse-bouche station, the pastry station, and the piccolo pasticceria station. So, and the first, and appetizer. So it was crazy. So it was like, we would have the pasta machine set up. When people would order tallarin or plen or anything like that, like, when it got fired, I would roll the pasta out, pipe, flip, pinch, cut, scoop into the water. You know what I'm saying?
Not even like a no drying process whatsoever.
No. Like fresh pasta. To like fresh pasta.
Like just touch the air for 30 seconds.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this, the tallarin, like I'm taking my sheet, cutting it straight from my hand into the water. Fresh pasta. You know what I'm saying? To like Legacy, where it was like, all right, we got 8 full sheet trays of cavatelli tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, and we're gonna, save some of that for tomorrow. Like, damn.
I'd probably sell maybe 15 cavatellis.
How many servers were there? So you feel me? So it was like, and it's not that I had never done that kind of work before, but it's just that I wasn't in that, what I'm saying? And I think we spoke about this actually, like when I had came back, because we were cool from off rip when I staged there for a month.
Yeah, I was psyched when you came back, because I thought you was going to Italy. I thought Chef Ryan was just like plug some in. He was like, okay, I got a good guy. He's gonna come and learn. Maybe I thought Chef Dave had some like some type of involvement into it. And then I realized I was like, oh, he came back. He's really with us now. I was like, is he here to stay? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's what's up, yo. We need that shit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
see it.
we were talking about it yesterday, and it's like I always kept the approach in the kitchen, like, I'm not like a cocky person. I'm not like a very like, I'd rather just, actions speak louder than words kind of thing. So especially when I came to New York, I'm like, boom, like, there's really not much to say off rip, but I don't even want to say much. I just, I want to get in, learn, first and foremost, get my stuff done, and you feel me, like, let everybody else just, you know what I'm saying? If you rock with it, you rock with it. If not, cool, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just here to get the knowledge at the end of the day. So that was my attitude, and I kept that, and it worked out for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just obtain it,
Right. That's the most important thing. Like, I feel like people, especially I noticed this in New York, like people really get caught up in the politics, you know what I'm saying, of working in the kitchen. But it's not, there's more to it than like who's better than who's faster than who's this, that, or the third. If you're really there for the passion and for the grind, for the craft, just do your thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about passion.
Right.
You have to, if you're there just make $1, we're going to find out real quick.
Right,
the passion is always there. When you were creating Eso Artisanal Pastas, like, what are a couple things that you really didn't take into account that you underestimated?
How busy we would get, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, like, you could ask Christina, you could ask Joel, you could ask Isaiah, like, you know what I'm saying? When I was on some, like, I was confident in myself. It was never a lack of confidence, but it, like, the way that it blew up and the way things happened for us is, like, ridiculous. Like even like you know, the reason why we're doing these interviews back to back is because I can't come to the city twice.
It makes sense though.
I can't. You feel me? Like I can't lose that time. You know, I'm behind right now. You feel me? Like
well, I appreciate you coming out here.
But you know, it's all love. But I'm saying
sure.
like I completely, more than anything, I underestimated just how much love we would get from the community and the surrounding communities around Morristown. Like I mean, we opened up shop and it was like whoosh. You feel me? So
you expected a slower rollout?
Yeah, I mean, I expected the people that did come by to really love our products. And what happened was like the mass of people that came by really loved our products and they come back. You feel me? It's not like we haven't had,
Yeah,
you feel me?
The whole
like,
room is surrounded good.
we've been good. So
yeah, that's good. Hope it stays that way for sure.
Yo,
it will stay that way. Not even
it.
hoping it will. Manifest, you know what I'm saying? Manifest. Did it ever get ugly at a point that you find yourself?
Nah, I mean, like we were speaking yesterday about the whole sleep thing. Like, I definitely, like I said, we got a funny dynamic. Like my boy is like, he be on my ass like, yo, man, you got to get sleep. Nah, fuck that. I got to get sleep, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You on your own, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm more like, yo, man, fuck it. Let's get this shit done. Like, let's go. You feel me?
Yeah.
Even if I'm hurting, I'm like, I'm that way. You feel me?
Push.
I just want it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm a dog with it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and it's good. It's a good balance because, like, we would probably run ourselves into the ground if, like, he was on the same stuff that I'm on. You feel me? So, it's all love. And so I appreciate, like, someone to kind of be like, yo, bet, like, that's what's up. But you need that. You feel me? Like, as far as things getting ugly, it's like, things only get ugly if you look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely have, our plates full and we definitely need to, dish it out. But it ain't nothing that we can't handle. You feel me? If it was something I couldn't handle, I wouldn't be here. You feel me? I wouldn't have got this far. So it's all for me.
I mean, when you put it like that, damn right. Yeah, hell yeah.
Word.
Yeah, you talking that talk. You know what I'm saying?
But that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's it's all up here with it. Like.
Right. So you got a storefront, right? You got like
a
piece of that's inside of a bakery, right?
Right. Real cool. That lady, shout out to Andrea Leckberg. She was actually our pastry chef at Jackie Howell Bar and Kitchen. Okay. So that's where the connection was made.
A thorough connection.
And that's it's like, don't burn those bridges, you know what I'm saying?
Especially if it's like, if you had a good rapport there and you did well, there's no need to. There's no need to burn, to even like be cocky with it. Like, I don't talk to you ever again. Like, when will you ever feel comfortable to take on more? Like, when are you going to add more to your menu? Like, when are you going to like, what's?
We ready, man. So like, we got some big surprises. Like, I wish, like, I really had wished that like there was an opportunity for us to come here and use the kitchen because like I got stuff up my sleeve for real. We made some, some pretty interesting investments, and we got some new coming on the menu soon. And I think
anything you can talk about.
I mean, just know that it, you know what I'm saying. I'm the just I'll be back out here to drop something off for you. But
of course.
We so I think for now, I think that the best way to keep everybody interested is to keep the kind of format that we have now. 5 pastas, 5 sauces.
Do you like that?
Because I mean, nobody wants a big menu. I don't want a big menu, and at the end of the day, you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, and you want to keep, what you have up your sleeve fresh. You feel me?
Right.
Like, if I could do 50 things, that don't mean I got to put them all out there at once.
Right. I think you're putting out the 5 things great.
Right.
5 great things and all
and then,
great.
Alternate, transition.
Yeah. Why have 15 things that are
for what?
okay?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that you got to,
Yeah. And it's weird because I feel like we grew up off the idea of having more is better.
And that goes to like also like another thing that I really like. You talk about like things that I didn't expect, like the level, and this is again not to be cocky or anything like that, but the level that we're making this pasta on and making these sauces on, I really expected people to be like, oh, that $10 for a pint of tomato sauce or $24 for a pint of pesto, like no way. But it's like, not only did we not receive feedback like that, but the people, like, there have been multiple people that told me that our products were underpriced.
I thought they were underpriced.
They were like, dude, like, you could charge, you could, word, it's cool because we wanted to be, but I was like, all right, because I remember when we was like about to roll out the menu and me and Joel was going back and forth and he's like, well, the food cost is this, so we got to make it there, and then like he'll pause and he'd be like, ain't nobody gonna buy that shit, what I'm saying? But
it was a great move. Like, anybody who cares about profits will tell you that wasn't. But anybody who knows about how longevity, what it's all about, that was the greatest move ever because you made it affordable so people can get in.
Right, exactly. Like everybody's getting taken care of. We're getting taken care of. The guests are getting taken care of.
Yeah.
No need to be too greedy. And, I'm just happy that, not only are people not worried about the prices, but the people that maybe felt, after they tasted the product, they like, all right, you feel me? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never had this before.
I mean, I thought it was great. I had no problem spending the amount I spent on that pasta because I got shit in the pasta.
Right, but you work in the industry though. You know what I'm saying? It's different for like someone like you and I who is a part of this than like someone who gets their pasta from ShopRite and their sauce from, you know what I'm saying? Like
$7 for a family pasta.
Nah.
As opposed to
99 cents for a pound of Barilla, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we got those people getting pasta from us now. So it's like, okay, you know, this is great.
So on that note, I think that's a great time to do a brief intermission.
Cool.
We'll save some time, you know, for the good old advertisements.
Word.
And then we'll get back and we'll talk about New York and see how that features in your career.
Word up.
The wine enjoyed on this episode was provided by Parcel Wine Shop, a curated wine shop and online retailer with nationwide shipping, curated by a team of New York's finest sommeliers, located at 511 West 38th Street in Hudson Yards, New York City. Subscribe to Parcel's Wine Drop, a new delivery service featuring 3 hand-selected bottles for $95 per month. Also, check out their pop-up at 632 Hudson to taste the wine and enjoy delicious eats from Chef Ron Yan. Parcel, wine for every scenario. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hot Plates and Grapes podcast, a podcast made for those on the grind, by those on the grind in the hospitality industry. I'm your host, Aaron Mays, and I interview guests on the good, bad, and ugly coming up in the hospitality industry. Check out our new episodes every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. And welcome back to the Hot Plates and Grapes podcast. This is Aaron Mays, your host, and I'm with AJ Sankofa.
Yes, sir.
Co-founder of Eso Artisanal Pasta. My dude, worked with him at Legacy Records. We're about to open up this Vietti, the Perbacco, the Nebbiolo. It's pretty much like a baby Barolo. It's real good.
That.
Yeah, it needs that. It's very cost effective. Maybe like $25. Shout out Parcel for holding it down, as always, blessing us with the means for conversation. Always a blessing. So now that we're back, I'm gonna open this wine up, and then I'm gonna ask you about how does New York feature in your career? Like, was it just inspiration? I know you were born here,
right?
But like coming back to it, was it because you were inspired? You want to be around New York, or is it just for opportunity to grow?
All the above, man. All the above. I mean, coming from working underneath New York City chefs, living in Jersey, you know, hearing all the stories, being born here, like, you know, there was always like that natural pull, you know, like I remember when I was maybe April or March maybe of 2019, I think is when we first met. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was out here for like a month, and I just remember like every time I would get off the train, like my heartbeat was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shit.
Boom, boom. Like, you know, I'd be looking around like, damn, like I'm supposed to be here. You feel me? Like I felt it. And it was like, you know, now looking at it, it's like I would not be sitting here had I never came to New York. I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't have like, you know, the opportunities, and, you know, like I said earlier, just based off my relationship with Christina, like I said, like us building her business, you know, was the foreground for building my business.
Right.
And so like everything, the way it worked out, like the people I met, the connections I made, the relationships I built, like it's all just, you know, opportunity knocked and I just took it, you feel me?
Yeah,
like,
into the fucking door. I can kind of agree with that, because I was in Virginia. I was working at a restaurant, and I worked for this lady. She was like a 65-year-old Turkish lady. Hope Sabel's doing well. I love that lady to death, even to this day. And she saw it in me. I didn't see it in myself. That good? Money. I didn't even see it in myself, bro. Like, I just remember I was working with her. She promoted me to be a manager. And then she was like, you know, actually, you need to be in a higher level. You can go higher. She's like, I learned in New York. You should go to New York.
Right.
Too.
And that's how Chef Kevin was with me. He was like, listen, man. When I told him like, yo, I got to come back from Italy, he was like, you know, don't mess around in Jersey. Like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? We got you hooked up out in, you know, we got you the stage at Legacy Records before. You know, we gonna plug you right in, and you know, it kind of worked from there. Like, I needed to get a taste of what it was like to be, you know, small dog again, because I had like grown so much in Jersey. It was like I had respect not only in the kitchen that I worked in, but then, you know, in other multiple kitchens throughout the state. Like, people know, you know what I'm saying, what's up. So I needed to be back on the bottom, you feel me, to really grow, you know, really blossom. Yeah,
because you feel like you hit a certain point, but like, so
you hit that plateau,
higher.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can go higher.
Right. Oh, you can always go higher.
If you're the best in that room.
Wrong room.
Yeah, wrong room.
And that's what like I said, when I came to Legacy, like I said, that change of pace, that change of, you know, going back to that culture was like, it was great for me. I felt motivated by being like one of the underdogs in the kitchen. Like,
Right.
all right, word, let me prove myself. Appreciate it, bro.
That sounds legit though, because like it is like it's weird because I got here the same, and I was like, okay, I'm in culinary school, I can crush this. Like I got this. Nobody else is out here like this. Lo and behold, I walk into and everybody's out here like this. Without even education. I was like, okay, good. This is what's up. I can grind. I can grind again.
Right. Yeah. And that's important. Like, it was. Thank you, man. Appreciate it,
man. Salute.
It was great. Like the struggle was great, man. Like I remember every single day, like before work, I'd be like, all right, well, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And then like I'll never forget like the family meal aspect used to always get me. I'm like, man. Because the pasta station, as you know, was crazy. You know what I'm saying? The setup, the space.
You were dolo out there at one point.
And I was dolo. Yeah. Like, one point, I was dolo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was dolo. Shout out Chef Matt, actually, because Chef Matt was the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fridays and Saturdays, he always made sure he was over on risotto, like, helping out, plating up. And, everybody was real, they fit in where they could. But, like, the responsibilities, like, really felt heavy. And it was like, just figuring it out. Every time you step into a new kitchen, you're always gonna be, you feel me? Because you don't know the space. You don't know how many steps to the right without looking, or how many steps to the left. You don't have those motions. You know what I'm saying?
It's not muscle memory yet.
Right. Yeah. So and it took me a minute to get that there, and but thankfully, I had the right attitude, and people, they picked up on that energy, and they were helpful towards me. Nobody was really like, nobody interpreted me as like a threat or like somebody that was coming in trying to, you feel me? So the reason why I grew and blossomed so much while I was there is because I had the help, you know what I'm saying? And the team environment was like great, you feel me? So
that's good.
I always appreciated that, and even front of house too. Like even you and Anthony, multiple people from the front would always say what's up to me,
of course,
or ask me how I was doing, or you feel me? Like
but that was a culture like it's kind of built. They kind of made it so like there wasn't a divide. So when we're speaking about the industry, and that you've cooked in a lot of different kitchens, you said like even like being in Legacy, the push was different. But is that a drawing factor? Like, would you be back? Would you be able to go back? Would you want Eso to even operate like that if it could?
Nah. So for Eso, man, like my big thing with Eso is that I wanted to do something different. What I've learned throughout working in restaurants over, the past 6 years of my life is that when you make a dish, let's, for example, because this is something you could relate to, like when you see Chef Henry make a dish, when you see him plate up something beautiful, you know what I'm saying, and like you look at it and you watch him work, and you see like the effort he put into it, the perfect cuts, this, that, and the third, and you taste it and you feel that connection, and then he gives that mise en place to me, for example, or he gives that mise en place to another cook or whatever it is, and then you throw 200 covers on that. It's not the same.
Right.
And what I wanted to do with Eso was, the reason why we don't cook any of the food is like, okay, I put my everything into this sauce. I put my everything into this pasta. Here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Here's the instructions. Here you go.
Nice.
Because I can't make this perfection for everybody in one night.
Right. For 7 nights a week.
Right. But what I can do is do all the work that leads to the perfection, and all you got to do is go home, put the sauce in the pan, boil the noodles, follow the instructions that I give you, and you'll have that.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My big takeaway from working in restaurants was that, like, Chef Henry said to me one time, he was like, the only person that really knows what I want is me. And that really stuck with me. I was like, you're right, man. Like, I can't, even if you tell me to do something and I do it perfectly, I still probably didn't follow it step by step the way you did.
Right.
And at some point that'll probably trip me up. At some point there's gonna be I'm gonna stray from the path. It's just natural.
It's not your vision.
Especially under pressure. You know what I mean? And then talking about the pressure, it's like you can't. No one can, like, unless. Speaking from like the understaffed point of view that we were always in, and most restaurants are in, you cannot perform, the same way with 30 guys as, with 10.
Right.
And, when you got 10 guys taking care of 300 guys versus 30 guys taking care of 300 guys.
Yeah, it's a huge
so
difference.
Like for me, like with Eso specifically, with the pasta, I just wanted to give the customer, the guest, the clients, just like my everything.
Right.
And make it as simple as possible for them to have my experience at home. You know what I'm saying? That was really important to me.
Yeah.
And then as far as expanding into something new, we have a lot of things up our sleeve that don't even involve pasta, that don't, you know what I'm saying? And it's, because, there's more to it, but, it's just, we need to, like I said, I'm a little behind right now as we're having this conversation. We need to get this to run itself. And once that happens, then we can sit back and say, okay, now it's time to, let this loose.
Right.
And get that to run itself. We'll let that loose. You know what I'm saying?
Get some more ammo, get them clips in there.
Right. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen over years. You know what I mean? It's not, there's no rush.
Right.
So, but, we got it.
That's good, though. I'm glad you can, get the traction down to where you need it. It's not like, okay, like day one, I got to get it. Like you're moving at your pace. You may feel like you're behind. It appears that you're ahead. It appears that you're
and that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
you're blanking it well. So is there like a certain expertise to diversity of cuisine or a style of service that's just different compared to the rest of the world that you find in New York? Like that's just is this the most unique style of dining that New York has offered? Nobody can match it. Do you feel that way?
You mean Legacy specifically?
Not really specifically. Legacy. I think Legacy did some great things. I mean, but I don't really know when it comes down to like the other serving styles. I just felt the most comfortable with Legacy in their serving style. But like in who would have like total it all up, would you see like New York is like in a class by itself? Like nobody can really bring a New York feel or what they do expertise wise anywhere else in the world.
I would say the best meal I had in New York, I did a 14 or 15 course tasting menu at Le Bernardin actually when I was, I might have been 19 or 20 years old actually. And me and my sous chef, we still to this day joke about the sommelier and the guy that came with the bread. Like after the course, like after every single course was cleared, the guy with the bread, they had like 5 different types of breads. They had like 2 different types of focaccia. They had like treccia. They had all these different breads. And like every single time the guy would come around, my boy would just be like lean back and he'd be like, 2 focaccia. And it was just ridiculous. Like, I mean, the perfection. Yeah. And then every single time the sommelier would come around, he'd be like, for your next course. Like I'm sitting in a basement tavern. It was just like old world, like crazy. And
just soigning you the fuck up.
And the food was like extremely simple. Mm-hmm. The service was unmatched.
Right.
And I remember like, at the end of the meal, we went back to the kitchen to meet Chef Eric Repair, and it was like 30 dudes just like bent over. Silence. If I'm speaking towards New York City, Le Bernardin definitely did it for me, and I would say like eating at Le Bernardin after going to Italy just reminded me of being it reminded me of being in Europe.
That's good. Yeah.
Like I feel like personally like that style of service was very European. I don't think a lot of American restaurants have that. Like I shouldn't say that they don't. I would say the ones that I've experienced throughout New York City didn't have that same passion or the same level of focus or the same level of intensity or the same level of attention to detail. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, if a fork dropped midair, it was being caught. If your napkin was like, there was one time where I was leaning back and I was drinking my wine and my napkin was dirty, and someone literally, like, without me even seeing, snagged my dirty napkin and threw a fresh one down. Like, literally, like, slapped it down on my thigh, like, and I just looked down, fresh napkin, and I'm like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
the craziest thing I
like
did was
wild service.
Wine, I think.
Wild service.
Yeah.
Who is like, they had, in tennis, you're watching Venus and Serena, and the ball boys on the side, and they're like just waiting there for the ball to go, and they're just
hit the.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it was like, and then right back, like nothing
back.
happened. Like that's what it was like. It was like crazy to me.
That's wild.
So that was a big one.
So that's like your best experience in the city?
Definitely, yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
That's what's up, man.
And I think that was 2017.
I wish I had more experiences like that. You mentioned saying like, even with your Eso take of having, fresh pasta, great sauce here, I gave you the car, now you drive it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like, is that your mindset, that your work, is that what's setting you different? Like, is it your work ethic, that approach, or like what's setting you aside from everybody else?
I think everything, man. I think like the first and foremost, and this is a philosophy I got from Chef Kevin Sipple, was like, I'm more concerned about getting the guests like the best. Like if I'm gonna make something, I'm gonna make it the best that I can make it. Like I'm really not trying to cut corners. I'm really not trying to cut costs. Like I'm really trying to just put, here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just give you some great shit.
You know what I mean? So the industry forces you to kind of not be that way. The industry forces you to look at things more so from a financial perspective. And, you know, luckily, the way our business model is set up, I can still do that and still do what I'm doing now. You know, still do what I want to do and do that. Right. Because, you know, at the end of the day, there's no plates, there's no silverware, there's no servers, there's no napkins, there's no glassware, there's no costs.
Right.
You know, we cut all that out.
Yeah.
So now all of that money that would be dished out is just, you know, able to be redirected into...
That's like 20%.
More.
Yeah.
More.
Well, it depends on your model, yeah. But
yeah, depending on... But, I mean, it's...
But that's cool. Like, I feel like you figured it out. And I feel like a lot of people may emulate that model. Because I think...
No, and, you know, we weren't even really...
forefront of the innovation, really.
Yeah, we weren't even really trying. It just, you know... With COVID, you know, you couldn't open a restaurant.
Right.
So it's like, and then on top, then I kind of just realized, well, wait, this is a lot better. Because, I mean, like I said, nothing is worse than having something beautiful, having something great, having something excellent, and then when it comes time to give it, to present it, not being able to achieve that same level of perfection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really rough.
Because of service, you know. Yeah. So many variables. Like, the biggest struggle that I see for chefs is, like, a chef has to deal with so many different people before they get to the guest.
Yeah.
So I mean, the cook. the CDC and the sous chefs and the, you know, junior sous chefs. Then the cooks. Then the commis. Then the food runners. The expo.
And the food runner can, you know, ruin everything in a matter of seconds.
They're
holding the plate at a weird angle. Sauce is running down. Like, I've seen plates just get ruined. Just how do you go? It looks great. You picked it up and somehow ruined it without even touching the food, but you somehow ruined it by the time it got to a table. It's like 30 seconds.
Even the 30-second, like, think about Legacy. Like, even the walk from the past at Legacy to, like, and then, like, from there, like, imagine me. Like, when I worked at Jackie Hollow, the kitchen was upstairs. What? So it's like, for the dining room, the walk was like, I would say half the length of Legacy from the past to the dining room.
Yeah.
But if you had a dish that was going to the Rathskeller or the patio, I mean, you were literally walking like 100 meters damn near. Like, I mean, ridiculous lengths. You know what I mean? Fitness to the max. Stairs, up, down. Like, so it's like, that was always extremely frustrating for me. Yeah. Like, and I was never an executive chef, you know what I mean, or anything like that. I was always just a cook. And I was always like, damn, you know, I just did everything that I possibly could to get this food on the plate in a timely manner. And it's either just sitting there or it's just walking out real lackadaisically to the table. Because how can I get you, and I'm just using you as an example as a food runner or someone that handled food at Legacy, to be on the same page as me when it's this sense of urgency? Like, at the end of the day, you can't. Either you want it or you don't. Either you feel me or you don't. I can't tell you anything to me. You know, like, you know, you're in pre-shift and, you know, you're telling the runners, like, oh, the kitchen, you know, the kitchen this, the kitchen that, we need you guys. But, you know, nobody's really listening unless they want to. Most of
those people in those ranks who don't want to come up are going to think, like, yeah, whatever. Like,
but that's how it is. There's no way to do it. Like, I felt the same way multiple times when I worked in the front of house. Like, when I went from back waiter to food runner, I was like, yikes.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because I was diddy bopping through that restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like...
Yeah, you get nice and they move you up. And it's like... But at the same time, you don't want to be nice and stuck.
No, never.
At the same time.
Never. So, it's it's a catch-22 like we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, it's life. It's fucking whack. So, like, you mentioned, like, COVID was the reasoning for opening up Jasso, even Christina helped you do that. But, but why now? You could have kicked back. You could have relaxed. You could have just collected unemployment. You could have just waited for more chances to learn. Like, why now? That's
just my personality, man. I've never been good with this, you know, the stand still, the sit still, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot going always, you know what I'm saying? I'm always on something, you feel me? Like, even throughout the midst of all of this, I have so many ideas that I haven't even said out loud yet. Like, in my notes, there's just pages.
Hasn't reached
pages. Right, because I'm the type of person, like, I hate to, like, front my move, like, you know, so I just... When it was me, when it got to that point, like I said, we're on the couch, Netflix. I'm like antsy, you know what I'm saying? I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, you feel me? Yeah. And then so it was like, at first it was like, okay, well, maybe, you know, I really passionately felt like, you know, maybe I can give this, you know, opportunity to Christina to really shine. Like, she has something she's passionate about, like, that she's really wanted to do this whole time. Like, how can I help her achieve that? You know what I mean? Because I've done things, you feel me? Like I've made moves, and I was like, maybe this can be her move, you know, maybe, and if I can help her do that, you know, I will, you feel me? And then it, you know, from there it was like, okay, you know, now it's my turn. Like, you know, we still, you know, COVID is here, it's not going anywhere. And then so now it's just like, you know, you just gotta keep it going. Like I'm not, you feel me? Like we took advantage of COVID for that first month to the max, you feel me? And so I'm good off that for a while. You never listen to your parents when they tell you. I remember when I started working, man, I was 15 years old when I started working. My aunt, you know, shout out Aunt Debbie. She said to me, because I was going ape. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be at work, and she was like, listen, you know, enjoy your childhood while you can. You're going to be working for the rest of your life.
Till you die.
And I was like, you know, I felt her, but I was like, nah, man, give me that bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to go to the movies this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Give
like,
me $20, please.
Word.
Just let me go about my business.
But now I'm like, damn, like, I should have just went outside and played basketball, or I should have just been skateboarding out in New York. Like, because shit, man, you can't stop. You know?
And the older you get, you think, okay, I get older, it's going to be a little easier. I get on more standing. It's like, no, okay, you get older, now you got health insurance. Now, now your back's hurting.
Right.
And now all these things are coming up. It's like, oh, I think you might have knocked the chick up. Now you got to be responsible. Like
everything
can happen at once. You're just getting older and life's just getting worse. You know? So from this point on, where you see yourself going, what's the end game, really?
It's up, man.
Up, just till infinity?
You know what I mean? Like,
could you do it until you're 60?
70, man. I told you 70 yesterday.
70.
70 is the number. Once you hit 70, you got a Mac.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
I think if you're making pasta, so 70, you got almost.
Hey, but you see that? You got to follow the Instagram page, Pasta Grannies, man. They're in their 90s, 100 years old, man. It's hard work, but it's once you have it in your hands, like you can't, you know, like when you spend enough time doing something, you never really lose it. Like, for example, like I spent like 7 years of my life like as an avid skateboarder. I'm not as nice as I was when I was 15, when I was like really jumping off crazy stuff in New York City, like, but
scaling
at the same time, if I hop on a skateboard, you know, I'll still ride down the biggest hill, you know. It'll take me a couple tries, but I'll still do a kickflip. Like,
that's how I'm a ball, man.
You know, right? Basketball, same
I'm
thing.
I'm not gonna run full court, but we can go half, and I might give you some
we
work.
could go half now. I'm good off full court
could.
now. You know, like it just doesn't go away. So like with you know, when you're passionate about something, you do it for a while. It's like it doesn't matter what I do. I'll always have like, you know what I'm saying? It's here. It's here. It's here, but it's also here. You know.
Right. And you're making moves off of it.
Because you have to. You gotta, you know, the things that you're good at and the things that you like to do. I think that was Derek Van Duzer. That was Chef Kevin's, one of his really good friends. He was actually his sous chef at Alto when they had, I think that was one Michelin Star.
Okay.
He said to me, he was like, listen, man, because they actually left Jockey Hollow at the same time. And at one of the last times we all hung out, he said to me, he was like, listen, find the things that you love to do. Just chase that. And I remember, like, I literally, like, made a note. I still have the note on my iPhone. Like,
good. Yeah, keep it.
Pasta, bread. Like, it was like, what do you love to do? I was like, pasta, bread. And, like,
she just wrote gluten.
Right. Unhealthy. That's all you know what I'm saying? Gain weight. You know what I'm saying? Just straight carbs.
Just gain the weight.
But, you know, and I still have that note. And it was like, you know, we were just testing out some focaccias, like, the other week. You know, we got stuff up our sleeve. But, like, those were the two things. And that was 2017.
Oh shit.
2017 that I wrote that note. So it's like, you know,
look at you now, though, 3 years.
Right,
man.
you know what I'm saying? That's the manifest. And so, and I didn't even do that on purpose.
Well, I'm glad you ain't deny what was coming in front of you.
That's what I'm saying.
You reaped the benefits. You planted your seeds. You reap what you sow, and there you go. That's it, man. You know, shit. You're here now. And speaking of being here now, like, now's the time to plug in anything and everything that you're involved with. Like,
100%.
Plug anybody, projects, charities, what you're going to be doing, what you got coming out the way. This time for you. Man,
plug. That's a lot of plugs. First and foremost, like I said in the beginning, man, major shout out to Chef Kevin Sipple. You know, never could have been here, never could have been, you know what I'm saying? All of this is, you know, just because he believed in me. Really, he saw something and he just let me run with it. You know, he was letting me run around the kitchen. He was letting me, you know, take the pasta machine from the pasta lady and make crazy pastas. He was letting me work the line when I had no business doing it. So, you know, I gotta give it to him. You know, shout out to late Justin Pahalik too. He was, you know, rest in peace. He was Chef Kevin's right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? Always big shout out to my family. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Christina. You know, my mother down in North Carolina. Shout out to her. I haven't seen her in a minute, but you know. And then, you know, business-wise, shout out to Andrea really for giving us the opportunity to have the storefront. Grow Green Morristown for always hooking us up for nice vegetables. Antica Sapori for getting us the finest of Italian meats, and just importing all of our olive oils and our specialty products. The list goes on, man. Whenever I watch like celebrities do this, I'm like, I know they forgot hella people, and I know I'm doing it right now too. I'm like, damn.
It feels like you crossed a good threshold.
Shout out Italy, man. Shout out Egypt. Shout out Chef Andrea La Rosa. You know what I'm saying? All of them. You feel me? They played a major role in the upbringing of my knowledge on pasta, and just like really showing me what's what. You feel me?
Yeah.
Damn. Shout out the Buffalo Club. Shout out Jackie Hallow. Shout out Chris Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Juice. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everybody, man. Like everybody who's watching this, like if I forgot you, it's not even, it's
this and just off the riff,
shout out my father, we
got love for you, don't worry, we got love for you, come on.
So I mean, and Eso Artisanal Pasta, Facebook and Instagram, that's where we be at. Website is coming soon. We working on the finishing touches.
So man, hey, I'm gonna raise my glass to you, bro, and if you can just, we coming to the end. I want to thank you for coming out, man. Thank you for bringing that lovely, the asti. That shit was amazing.
Word up. Nah, that's all Isaiah back there, man.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Word up.
Much love with that. And I'm going to let you, do a toast to this afternoon.
Man.
What you got on your mind?
All I got on my mind is Eso, man. And that's just a celebratory term. You feel me?
Eso. I'll celebrate with you with that, bro.
It's funny as hell because when we met, like, way back in like March, I remember we was in the locker room chopping it up. Yeah. And he was like, "Yo, man, I fuck with what you doing. Like, you did this, that, and third. Like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do all this shit." And I was like, "Word!" Like, and I really appreciated this. I told you,
of course, man. I saw that shit from the jump. I was like, "This motherfucker's gonna be the standard one day."
Word.
I was like, and I gotta get behind that shit because I'm trying to be a standard one day.
Word.
So if this motherfucker's up here,
word. I appreciate that, man. Because it was funny, man. Like we exchanged numbers like a year and a half ago, and it's just like, and then I came back and it was like, all right, it was grind time because we was going into the season, and then now it's just like we linked up and we're here, you feel me? Same place of origin, and you making something huge happen, and I know this is gonna take off, bro. So like,
it's all a matter of time. We doing the right steps to get it.
And I'm happy I got to be in here. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the first episodes. I really appreciate you reaching out, man. So,
it's great to have you. You gotta have hitters.
Word up.
None but hits. That's what we operating off of.
But and
we are
on camera. We got to get you out to Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to style on me, but we got, you know what I'm saying? We got to get you down the shore and all that.
I feel you.
Word.
I'm open to it. Like I said, my mind stay open. It's like a little sponge.
Appreciate it, man.
So yeah, we're gonna end out on just one last thing, because you legacy affiliate, you were there for a couple pre-shifts, but we always ended out, with the 3, 2, 1 clap, and that was
clap. Let me back up a little bit.
Yeah,
make sure I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Get you some space.
Word.
Yeah,
elbows might.
Yeah, so for the guys who don't know, for listeners out there, this is something we did to go into the night. If we got this 3, 2, 1 clap down, it's kind of like sports teams, like basketball, football, and you break after the huddle. You got your meeting, you get your information, you break because you're on one accord. We're all on the same page. That was us to tell. If we got it wrong, we're going to do that shit again. We're not trying to have a bad night because you don't know how to count to 3. Can't do it. So my man's AJ Sankofa, co-founder of Eso Artisanal Pasta, please take us out.
3, 2, 1.
Butter.
Let's get it.
That was butter.
Word
I like
up.
that. That was good.